Hello everyone, welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. I had a few viewers ask me how I handle lights in my indoor grow station. So I'm going to show you how I adjust lights up and down, the many different types of lights that I use in my indoor grow space for growing vegetables throughout the winter, as well as my seed starting stations. And so I showed this video a couple years ago and I have lots of questions about it. And so I am going to spend a couple minutes today telling you about them. I use a variety of lights in my indoor grow space. Now I have an indoor grow tent, so let me show it to you. So this is a 4x8 grow tent. And not only am I growing vegetables through the winter in here, so I got peppers and tomatoes, which I just harvested, and bok choy and cabbage and lettuce and all kinds of other goodies in here. But in addition to that, I also start all of my young seedlings in here as well on a shelf in this space. Depending on what I'm growing will determine what type of light I use. For my green stalks, where I am really trying to grow vegetables throughout the winter, so I don't want to just my plants to survive, I want them to thrive. I want to harvest lettuce and tomatoes and peppers and bok choy and what else is over there, but I want to harvest. If I have the intention of harvesting the fruits to eat, then I use my strongest lights in those spaces, and I usually use grow lights. Now I have this kind right here. This is called an Atrium. It's a grow light. It's about a foot wide, and it will cover a 2x2 foot space. And here's a picture of it. I bought it on Amazon. I'm not an affiliate in any way, shape, or form. And in addition to this one, I have a couple different other styles that I picked up either at the big box stores or on Amazon. My preferred one is this Vivosun, and here's a picture of the Vivosun or Vivosun or however you say it. And it's the strongest light I have in my grow space. It covers a larger area as well. And it has been pumping out peppers like crazy in my indoor grow space because of just how powerful it is. It's just keeping everything looking so healthy. And so those are the ones that I prefer to use over plants that I'm trying to get a harvest off indoors. For my young seedlings, I have a ton of little trays like this on shelves in my grow tent. And now there's nothing in these yet, but this is the process that I use. I put them into little 10x10s or a 10x20, so 10-inch by 20-inch tray. That's what this is here. I plant my young seedlings in it, and then I put them on shelves. And once I put them on that shelf, I pull that light down as close as I can to the young seedlings until they break ground. And as they break ground, I start backing up those lights. But all of the lights that you see over here, these are garage or warehouse shop lights. That's what they are. This particular one has grow bulbs in it, but for the most part, they are just typical fluorescent shop lights. Now for my young seedlings, that's really all you need. You don't need those high-powered grow lights like this one here to start young seedlings. Now, will it help? Absolutely. It will probably help certain things grow faster, but if you don't have the money for something super expensive like this, I don't want you to feel like you have to have that to start your seedlings. So I picked up these shop lights or warehouse lights, garage lights, whatever you want to call them, from the big box stores over the years. I pick up one, pick up two, pick up another. I think mine are 4 feet long, I believe, which is perfect because you can put two of these 10x20-inch trays side by side, and one light will cover the length of them. If you're going to pick up something like that, you definitely want to make sure you have as strong a fluorescent light as you can get. at least 5,000 K, I think is what people call it, but you want it to be as strong as possible so that your plants are going to get the lighting that it needs to start your young seedlings. So that's really it. That's the only kind of lights. Oh, I take it back. I got one more light. I have this one right here. This right here is another one of those real cheap lighting systems that you can get from your big box store. I think I paid like maybe $8 or $10 for it a few years ago. It's probably 30 now, right, with the cost of everything. But it's just a super cheap lighting fixture. But where I spent some more money is on the bulb here. This isn't a regular bulb. This is a grow bulb that I've put in here. And your grow lights come in many different wattage, many different powers, many different strengths. So you just have to read up on them and figure out which one is going to be best for you. But that's it. I've named all the different types of lights that I have in here. But then the next thing is, if I got a shop light, if I got one of these little lights right here, and I hook it to the top of my grow tent, and my plants are 6 feet away, that's not going to help my young seedlings. They're going to get long and lanky, and I have an example of that. This is a plant that got long and lanky because I had it too far from the light, and it just grew straight up trying to stretch to get to the light. That's why you want to keep your lights as close as possible. Now, when I say keep your lights as close as possible, I am talking about the garage, warehouse, shop lights, not necessarily your grow light. Your grow light, I follow the directions on the light itself, because depending on the power of the light, if you put the light too close, it could burn your plants as well. So if you're getting grow lights, follow the instructions. It'll tell you how far away for greens and vegetables and herbs and that kind of stuff, how close you need to be for flowering or fruiting plants. And so usually it's in the directions. In order to get your plants close enough to the lights, there are several different methods. You can raise your plants up to the light by stacking books or something underneath to take the plants up, and then removing books and lowering it down as you go. That's one option. But y'all, I'm not going to bring my good books downstairs into my grow space to raise and lower my plants. I'm going to be watering. There's going to be dirt. There's going to be all kinds of stuff around here, and I don't want to mess up anything like that. You can use towels, you can use blankets, you can use whatever you want to raise those plants up. Or you can do like I do, and I use these little, what are they even called? They're little pulley systems. And I bought this last set of pulleys online on Amazon, and here's a picture of them from Amazon where I purchased them. But these little pulleys can do wonders, and you don't have to bring things in and take things out. You can just take your time and raise your light or lower your light. So I put one here so I can show you. So this light right here is on a pulley system. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see it, but here's one pulley on one side and one on the other side. And the lights come with these little strings that I can clip right into the light. It's going to be hard to see this, but you see there's a little string connected right to the lights. And I connected the pulley directly to this little thing that's connected to the light. And then I connect the pulley inside the grow tent to one of the bars and the railings and that kind of stuff. And then when I am ready to raise it, let's use this one as an example. I'm ready to raise it. I just pull on the pulley system, and it raised it up on that side. And when I'm ready to lower it, it's just got a button and I can take it back down. That's the process that I use. And there are many different ways to connect. So I have this particular pulley. I have both the upper end and the lower end both connected in the same place, so I can raise and lower it, or I can just hook it to the top of the grow space and do it that way. So let's go inside and let's look at how my pulleys are connected inside. And I got several different ways of connecting them. So let's look at it. So this is the one that we were just talking about. Here's where it connects to the light itself right here. And here's the little pulley that connects to it. I have one end connected here. And then if we follow it all the way up, I have the other end wrapped around the bar of my grow tent. On the other side, same thing. Here's the pulley system, or here's the connection to the light. And I connected both ends of the pulley system right to this place right here. But if you go up, and there's a lot of wires up here, this one just loops over and comes back down. You can do it either way. Either way is fine. If we look at some of the other pulleys up here, and I got pulleys everywhere, y'all. Some of them are connected just to the top of the grow tent here. Some of them are connected back to themselves. There's another example where it's just connected to the top. And I probably have 3 or 4 different kinds of pulleys in here. Right now, Vivosun happens to be the brand that I'm using, or I just recently purchased. This particular grow light right here had the same kind of connection at the top, but it was hanging too low, so I couldn't use that. So these Atreum lights also have a little hole here where I can connect the pulleys directly to the light itself. Here's an empty hole right here. I could have connected to that one. It's connected right to the hole on the light versus the little attachment here. But I needed it to angle just a little bit. So I have it connected in the back. I have it connected here and there. So it's connected in 3 places. So I can make it angle just back just a little bit. So it's covering both of these grow spaces. Now this particular grow tent can hold, I think it's like 200 or 300 pounds of lights and other systems, but my lights don't weigh that much, y'all. It's not that much at all. But I have pulleys throughout the grow space, and grow tents come with all of these bars and rails, and you actually have extra bars and rails if you need them. Like I have one back there that's not even being used. Here's one right here that I'm not using, but I could have easily set it up here. And now that would have been another place I could have attached to if I needed it. This light right here, my strongest one, this is my Vivosun light that I was telling you about, is the strongest light that I have. I have it kind of at an angle. On this side is coming back this way toward me. That side is going backwards, which is giving me an angle, which is taking care of the side of this particular GreenStalk. The main thing that I just want you to know is that there's no right or wrong way of doing it. It's just whatever makes sense. And I will hang these things cocked sideways if I need to make sure I'm getting light to all the right places. Hence why I have this one here hanging on the side of my grow tent. Outside the grow tent, I have my collard greens now because I need to free up those shelves. But these collard greens are outside the grow tent, but they're getting all the light they need from this grow light right here. And then this one here is more like a spotlight. I have it shining down. I had something sitting right here, but I had to move it for this video. But it was shining down directly on a plant. So I hope that helps explain the many different types of pulley systems that I use. But again, you don't have to have a pulley system. Shop lights, super cheap. Get some books, get some blocks, get some bricks, get some towels, get whatever you need to do to raise those plants up to get closer to those shop lights. And for grow lights, read your instructions, read your directions from the manufacturer, but you might not want to be quite that close. But if you're interested, the pulley system is the way I have chosen to go, and it has worked wonders for me. I can put them, I didn't show you the pulley systems for the shop lights, but I put them on the edge, and there are 3 shop lights right here, 3 of them. One on the bottom shelf that I can raise and lower. This one here can be raised and lower, and then there's another one there. But one of the other things that I'm finding with most of these lights is that they have the capability to tie into each other. So you don't need a whole bunch of outlets. Each light doesn't have to have its own outlet. I have the first shop light tied into an outlet, and then the second one connects to the first one, and then the third one connects to the second one. So they're kind of linked together, so you really only have to be tied into an outlet in one spot, and it'll tell you how many you can tie together at a time. But I have extension cords and all kinds of other things running into this space here. The next question that I quite often get is, I know your electricity bill has to be out of this world. And honestly, it's not. If my electricity bill goes up let's just say on average $50 to $75 a month. And I honestly don't believe that it is going up that high, but let's just say it was. I'm not buying anything from the grocery store at all. At all. No vegetables from the grocery store. None. $50 to $75 is what, less than a week's worth of groceries? I mean, I don't know how much everybody else spends on groceries, but I spend less than $100 on groceries a month. And that's for eggs, probably all by itself. But eggs, milk, cheese, dairy, that's it. Everything else I'm growing myself, either indoors or outdoors. And so let's just say during my seed starting season, like we're in right now, which is the time that I have more lights turned on than ever, let's just say that's the time when my bill goes up less than $100. Have anybody ever bought young transplants? I mean, $5, $6 a plant? Like, really, $5 or $6 a plant? I am growing hundreds of plants in here at one time. Hundreds. And I will have a plant sale in the spring, and I'll recoup all of my money for the soil and the fertilizer and even the electricity that I'm spending to grow it. So honestly, this is a savings. There's no loss whatsoever. And most of my lights, outside of the shop lights, outside of the 3 fluorescent shop lights I have, all the rest of my lights are LED lights, which uses less electricity than fluorescent lights. So it's already cheaper. So no loss. These are all gains if this is something you're interested in. And if you decide to go with grow lights over shop lights, up front the cost, depending on what kind you get and how high of power and brand and all of that kind of stuff, it could be a little expensive up front. But over time, I promise you there's a savings in there. It's just completely up to you on how you want to do it. But I didn't buy all of these lights at one time. I've been growing indoors now for a long time. And every year I bought one more light. Initially, I only had shop lights, and that was it. And then I bought my first grow light. And then I bought my second grow light. And I slowly built up to this level. No one starting out should be at this level if you're not ready for it. You don't have to have all of this. It's just the many different ways that I like to grow. And I'm growing indoors, y'all. I am eating this food that you see here, the lettuce and the tomatoes and the peppers. We're eating all winter long on this food. So no loss for me. And I haven't had to buy any grow lights now for 2 years. And so I will reap the benefits of that investment for many, many years to come. So that's my lighting setup and the pulley systems that go along with my lights. I hope you found this helpful and useful. You know, maybe you only need a seed starting station, and that's what I got going on behind me. Or maybe you're trying to do something a lot bigger where you're growing your own food indoors, whether it's just in the winter or all season long. Here's a great example of how you can achieve that with the lighting systems that I have. If you found this video useful in any way, please consider giving me a thumbs up and let me know if there's other information you would like to know about this indoor grow space that I've put together that has been super successful for me for over the last several years. So until next time, and I hope, as I always say, that there will be a next time that you hang out at Kim's Cozy Corner with me. I hope to see you back here again real soon.